Don't you think it's suspicious that Oublier has urgent business at the docks?
Not in the slightest, young lady. He's gone to oversee the unloading of cargo, an exhibition of Mayan sculpture on loan from Mexico City.
What's the name of the ship?
The Xibalba Princess, moored down by Tower Bridge. Why do you ask?
Just wondering.
This is the conversation that I needed to have with him before I could escape. Because this is where I gain the information about where he is. It's interesting that this game has some level of freedom where I can solve the puzzle in a non-sequential order. So I could basically do everything necessary to escape from the museum, but still not be able to escape until I have that one piece of information that I can only get by conversing with this person. Now when he's over on the telephone making a phone call to the police, can I converse with them and find this information out or not? Would I have, I don't know what to do at that point. But it's fun. It's really interesting that the design allows me to go about solving the puzzle in a non-sequential way, non-linear way. But it's all part of a linear story. So it's this interesting balance between the non-linear solving of puzzles to progress a linear story. I'm just so fucking intrigued by this. This museum attendant here, he has used 2 English phrases that I have never heard before. And the way the game has communicated these phrases is they are almost like a foreign language, because the character I am controlling doesn't even understand them, and the attendant, after saying them, instantly assumes that they're misunderstood phrases by saying never mind. So the phrases are,
It's gone. Some sods half-inched it.
Half-inched?
Stolen it, miss. Never mind. The silent alarm will have been tricked.
and
It was you, wasn't it?
Use your loaf, miss. What would I want with an ancient Mayan artifact?
some sod half-inched it, and use your loaf, miss. This is a foreign language. I have this curiosity with the English from England. In other words, the most traditionally spoken version of the English language that currently exists on this planet. I have a morbid curiosity with that language and how it's spoken in this way, especially when you analyze it, especially when the language gets further and further down the ladder of society to very lower regions. It becomes more and more and more obscure with phrases that are more and more internationally unknown, because English is an international language. So there are phrases and there's a dialect of English that is more internationally understood, and this is completely misunderstood. So much so that this man already, upon saying the phrase "some sod half-inched it," he already knows no one's going to understand it. It's as if he is speaking more emotionally by using this dialect, these phrases that are not understood by the general populace of English speakers. English speakers, native and non-native alike. And to me, that's fascinating. It's similar to the culture where I was raised in America, where there's so many different dialects that I'm certain if I were to go to Texas, if I were to go to South Carolina, I would hear phrases that I've never heard before. But for some reason, my desire to understand those is not as great as my morbid curiosity for the English variants. And I say morbid because I don't see the exploration of this curiosity, I don't see amounting into anything beyond me simply wanting to become a gangster. I've watched way too many Guy Ritchie movies to know that it is very attractive. The English gangster is so fucking attractive to me. They're hardcore in a way that I have never experienced or seen in any other form, any other nationalities gangster. Like no other gangster has this. The English gangster has this comedic aberration towards humanity. Yeah. The English gangster has a comedic aberration towards humanity. And that, to me, is just strikes a chord within my soul. And so if, like the Japanese, the Yakuza it's a different type of relationship with humanity. They have a filial responsibility towards one's word in the context of humanity. They will uphold one's word, one's status, one's face, one's reputation. While the English they're just funny with how they detest humankind.
Holding that lantern, I felt kinda biblical. Like Jesus or Florence Nightingale.
Jesus! I want to feel like Jesus sometime in my life. I wouldn't be able to feel like Jesus if I was holding a lantern. I have no recollection of him ever holding a lantern. Nor do I have any recollection of lanterns existing in the Bible. Aren't lanterns something that was invented long after biblical times? I thought Bible people only held torches. Am I discovering this all by myself? My original desire was to explore how I would feel like Jesus. I guess the only way I could feel like Jesus is by helping people indiscriminately. No, I couldn't feel like Jesus then, because I help people discriminately. I discriminate with who I help. I can't help every single person I met. There's people that I have to, like, there was one time I was in Mexico City and some guy got shot by other people. And I could have tried to help him then, but he was shot by other people that were still standing around him, taking his money. What am I supposed to do? Run over and kick those guys and not get shot? Or say, shit, he got shot. I mean, bad, wrong place, wrong time type of thing, and walk the other way. What should you do in that circumstance? What would anyone else do? Would they try to save the stranger, knowing that they could potentially get shot too after seeing the other guy just get shot? You know? How many people would turn into a hero there and attack those guys? Just go ahead. You might get listed on some article as, oh, heroes, thank you. But you probably won't. The only way you get listed in articles as a hero is if It was a big event that shook the world, but someone getting shot in Mexico City subway is not a big event that shakes the world. You'd have to go on like a rampage of saving people, and then you become like a Batman type of character, and specifically in Mexico City. And then if someone else thought that was cool, they could popularize you by writing a book about you or something. That'd be a way to become popular. You know, and then someone could make a comic book about you, or just turn you into a legend. But then you're not being like Jesus Christ there. You're just being some unforeseen character if you continually practice something a certain way for enough time. In this case, trying to save people that get shot on subways by running after the people that give them, by taking them out.
That might come in useful in ticklish situations.
You are about to witness the most unemphatic surprise I have ever heard. That was preluded by the most constipated looking attempt to opening a chest. His reaction, he's just like, very odd. Let me check it out.
Who are
But
you?
here is completely.
What were you doing in there?
His face doesn't look like he's that surprised. He's just like,
doing here?
let me check it out.
Grown-up
Suddenly,
stuff.
what the?
Grown-ups? I'm never gonna grow up, I'm not.
I've got to find this boy a fly that he can use to catch a tigerfish. And so the fly, obviously, is something that dangles near the surface to emulate a type of creature that the tigerfish wants. And the way you make this fly is you take this quill pen, you dangle it in front of this cat.
The cat made short work of the feather, tearing it into a blizzard of small pieces.
The cat smacks it, rips it apart, and you take a feather shard. And it just so happens that the feather shard is something that emulates whatever type of fly this boy needs. But the thing that I don't understand is why in the hell do you need a cat to do that? If you know you're supposed to do that, then you would just do it yourself instead of relying on a cat to somehow whack it into the shape that you need it to be in. To me, that's just silly.